Now that we have our background for the home page and our header, we're going to want to add some navigation. And websites can have all kind of different things. They can have image galleries, they can have an about page that describes what the history of the business is or what it does. It can have images of employees or people, the owner, or there's all kind of things you can put. If it's a commercial type site that sells things online, it might have a store. So we're going to want to put, for this one right now, some galleries. So we're going to need to put some navigation buttons on here to take us to the pages that we're going to create for the various image galleries. So we're going to come over here to the plus, and we're going to add a button right there, third one down, and it gives us all kind of choices. Themed buttons. I mean, this button is merely text with a clear background, and you can see the rollover state because whenever my cursor is not on there, it's dark and it gets lighter when you roll over it. Each of them, it's going to show their rollover state, what it does when you roll over. That one actually pushes in, like a button. So they have got all kinds of shapes down through here. They've got backgrounds built into them. You may want to select those. They even have icons if it's appropriate for your particular website. I think for ours that we are going to once again go for the very straightforward, clear background with just the text, which will mimic our design sensibility that we have established up here at the top. And we're going to put these down at the bottom. We're going to keep them within these bounds. And just like with the header, we can go in here and we can change things. So let's change the text first. What does this button say? We don't want it to say button. We want it to say fountains. Now, we're going to have to send this button somewhere. Where's it going to go? We're going to come back and do that in a minute, because as of yet, it doesn't have anywhere to go. So let's close this out. And let's go ahead and get the button itself cleared up. So we'll go to Design. We don't see any that we like better. We can customize it. There are things we can do to it. We can, change the color of the button itself. We can change the font. We can change the font size. Let's go ahead and change the font. Now, I had used this script for the top, but this type of cursive or script or handmade looking letters are not optimal for navigation in the rest of the website. It's important that people be able to read what it is that the button is going to take them to. So we want clarity more than a decorative style at this point. So don't use anything here that's going to confuse your user. You can select any number of the fonts that we've got here, and it will let you upload fonts. But we want something nice and clear. Let's see, what would be good here? Well, I have a tendency toward Avenir. It's very close, but there are any number of others like it. I think in this case maybe we will use Arial Black so that we can get a nice heavy but readable font against this kind of complex background. And we want to maybe make this just a little bit bigger. Maybe not quite that big. Takes it a second to load so you can see it. I think something maybe about like that would work, particularly since we are going to be changing some other things on the text itself. And let's go ahead and change the color. So once again, let's go for that kind of second gray there. And so now we have our first button. Now our button doesn't have anywhere to go to, right? It shows up here, and if I publish this website, people could click on it and it would look like it was going somewhere, but it's not linked to anything. And so we need to add a page. So we're going to go up here to the upper left, menus and pages, and click on that. Right now we have only one page, home page, the one where we are right now. We're going to need to add a page. So we got new page here, which we're going to call Fountains. So now we've got two pages. We actually have some place where this button can go. In fact, it has taken us to that other page as soon as we create it. And it has pulled over the background as a default. And we have our header up here, which will appear at the top of the page on every page. But we don't have our button. So we need to go back to Home. That'll take us back to where we've got our button here, and we want to click on it because we're going to add some things. Most specifically, we're going to add a link. This little chain link right here will take us somewhere. So, which page does this go to? It wants us to know, or rather it wants us to tell it. Where do you want this thing to go? You want it to link back to itself, an infinite loop? We don't want that. So we are going to go to Fountains and select it. Now if we had 20 pages built up there in the upper left, all 20 would show up here and we could select where we want it to go. We only have two pages, Home and Fountains. So we're going to go ahead and select Fountains. And now it is linked to Fountains. So if a person clicks on this, it will take them to the Fountains page, which currently is identical but has no buttons on it. So what we've got to do is we've got to get rid of this background, and we've got to add some content on this Fountains page, which we will do next.